Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. Today is scrap 5. So our recipe today is to use a stencil, cardstock background, different font title, at least 2 photos, and either heart, stars, or circle shapes. So we just had to get those on a layout. I'm starting with 3 photos here, so I'm going to go to one of my other go-to designs where I use them as a photo strip down the whole page. I'm considering this my redemption layout for when I use the Reese collection. Lisa sent me the Reese collection for my birthday, and I used it for my How to Kill a Kit in August. And there were a couple things that I lost on my desk along the way or didn't get used up, and I wanted to get them used up here. So right away, I'm starting with my cardstock background. I just pulled in one of my coordinations black. It has a purple backside, and I really like these papers because you can distress the black and the purple will show through. I thought about using that like that on my layout, but I have this purpley stencil that I decided to use as a layering element on my page, and once I laid it on the black, I really felt like I did not want to distress the black because I thought it was such a cool graphic design having the stencil really do the work of the background. So I'm just gluing the stencil directly to the background. You can see it's not long enough to fill the whole page, but I have this big block of photos that's going to run down the page. So I'm not worried about it. It'll cover it up. I really want to jump into this purple and yellow. When I did the Reese collection, I really liked using the purple and yellow together. So now that I'm pulling in some more Reese goodies to use up that I didn't get to use up back in August, I wanted to go back to that color scheme because I keep forgetting the name of this collection, Julia collection, which is the one I'm using this month, has several yellow elements. And I think pulling the yellow from the collection I'm using this month with the purple leftovers from Reese creates a really cool color scheme that I don't normally use. So I am actually getting this one pocket card used up because it has that yellow grid on it. And here's the Reese collection. You can see I found that little girl and a couple other die cuts that went missing. I'm really glad I found her, but I was really frustrated at myself when I realized I lost her because I set her aside and just forgot to pull her back in. But these tassels I really wanted to use and forgot about as well. So I'm going to get the tassels used up on this layout. I have a scrap of this purple solid. I thought it was really sweet. So this is Marcus's family at my wedding, so my new in-laws, and they all happened to wear like purples, which I thought was really cute. I don't think they planned it, but I really just wanted to dig into the purples because that's not a color I use a lot scrapbooking. So I was happy to use this scrap of purple here, just a layer on top of that yellow pocket card. I wanted to pull in this black star that I fussy cut from a pocket card from this collection just because I have the black background. So I wanted to pull some more black in. And then I think that tassel looks really sweet up at the top of the layout. I'm kind of forming this larger cluster here with the black star, but I really like in these kinds of designs to have a little something on the opposite corner. So I'm going to have the little tassel die cut up there by Marcus and me when we were talking to them after the wedding before we all went to the reception. So this is kind of the design I'm going for. I'm also pulling in the scrap of the pink scallop from the Reese collection, as well as the heart die cut that I also forgot about. So really happy I'm getting these pieces used up now at least. You can see I pulled in a yellow branding strip from the collection I'm using this month, and then I'm pulling in the 2 yellow photo corners to be in the opposite corner just so that yellow is kind of balanced around the page. And now it's just figuring out what I want to do for the cluster and my title. I really also wanted to use this purple and white gingham, but I didn't think it was really necessary once I pulled in this purple solid because I didn't want it to get too busy since I do have this stencil that is as the background. And that's another thing I wanted to do on this layout with the scrap 5. I kind of wanted to use the recipe items in a different way than I normally would. As soon as I read stencil, I thought about doing mixed media through one of my stencils because that's pretty much what I always do when I have a stencil in the recipe. But I found this purple stencil, and it's a paper one, and it's been used for mixed media in the past, which I think is really cool because there's some white different modeled areas on it, which I think just adds to the look. But I thought it was cool to use it as a layering element instead of as a stencil on this layout. So I think that's kind of fun. The cardstock background, I really wanted to do white because it is Felicity Jane, but I'm out of white cardstock, so I thought black would be a fun pop, especially because I don't usually use black backgrounds with Felicity Jane, so I thought that was another different way than I would have used it. I definitely will do the different font title. I've been doing that all month long, actually, so I'm happy to do that again on this layout. I think it always looks really cool. I have 3 photos, so I already have more than 2, which was one of the other recipe items, and I already have a star incorporated with that die cut, but I'm also going to pull in some hearts, which is another thing I normally don't do. I usually like to stick to one shape, and if I'm using hearts, I like to use hearts for everything. But on this one, I really wanted to use this black star, so I'm going to pull it in. I like the pop of black, but then I will also add different heart elements. So you can see I'm pulling in some leftover of the chipboard hearts from the Reese collection. I'm doing a pink and purple heart in both clusters. I did pop the tassels up on some foam as well as this little purple heart. And then I'm finally using up that yellow Heidi tassel. I have tried to get that on so many layouts, and so that now that I have a yellow and purple color scheme, I'm using the yellow tassel. So I thought about threading it through the twine that's going through Ronnie's little white tag I layered behind these layers, but it was looking really weird, so I decided just to do what I normally do, thread some black thread through it and pierce it through the layout and just tie it off on the back. That way it has a little bit of movement, but it stays put, and I just think that looks really cute. So you can see I tied it off in the background. I'm just going to add some washi tape back there just to really secure everything. But yeah. I think I do my title next. I'm not really sure. I did trim that yellow pocket card into a fishtail banner just to add a little bit of interest, if I didn't mention that earlier. I kind of struggle on this one a little bit just because I'm using so many kind of solid colors, which I like to use more patterns. But I don't want to, I'm struggling with using patterns because of this stencil that really draws your eye and is a really bold element on the page. So I'm trying to figure out what I can add to the solids that will kind of make it more visually interesting but not compete too much with this stencil. So I decided to go ahead and do my title. I am using some of the Jenny black puffy stickers for the word new, and then I'm going back to the essential puffy tile letters to spell in-laws. I probably should have Googled it before I did this layout. Is in-laws, is it hyphenated or is it one word or is it 2 words? I just put it on the layout as if it were 2 words because I didn't have a hyphen. I could doodle a little hyphen in a pen, but how do you spell in-laws? Is there a punctuation? Or is it 1 word? I don't know. I should probably look that up. I haven't permanently glued down those alphas yet, so I could shift things around if I need to. But I'm just going to title this New In-Laws because that's Marcus's family that came to the wedding. I did glue down the word new because those alphas kept wanting to peel up for some reason. So I'm just going to secure those ones. And then I'm almost done, and it's just bothering me that it seems like, I think it's the solid purple next to the plain white tag. Like, I just need a little bit more interest. So one of the things you guys saw on the first of the month when I did my layout or my kit share, I showed you a couple other Felicity Jane things I had that I was thinking about pulling in, and one of the things was some like heart confetti that was white, gold, and black. And I said I probably wouldn't use it this month, but on this layout, I thought it just went perfect because it's white, black, and gold, and all of those are pulled in. So what I end up doing is just sprinkling them on the left-hand side here, and I'm just going to glue them all down where they fell. I don't want to move them around too much because then I lose the randomness. When I try to make it more random, it just doesn't work. So I'm going to glue down all of these little hearts. I could have left this off. I think it's fun. It's not something I normally do, so I want to just go ahead and do it because otherwise it was just looking too plain. It wasn't necessary, but it's done now. I think it's a fun little addition, and it accentuates the hearts. Like, I'm supposed to be using shapes on this layout. I have the 1 star and a couple hearts, but now with the heart confetti, I really feel like I did the recipe justice. So that's pretty much it. This one turned out pretty simple, but I'm just really excited about the types of things I got to use and put together on this layout to make something kind of unique. So these are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check the description for everyone else playing along with Scrap 5, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.